Three, two.
Welcome to the living room. And today I'm going to invite you all to come into my kitchen. We're going to be talking about healthy holidays. You know, it's November. Thanksgiving is in a few weeks. And then in 4 weeks after that, we're going to celebrate Christmas. Now, the thing is this. Some of us are still trying to lose the weight from the pandemic, being in the house continually. And now the holidays are upon us, and statistics show us that at the end of the holiday season, after you gain and you lose and you gain, after you've settled down, the average person has still picked up 3 pounds. So we need to kind of see what can we do so that we can get ready and maybe even lose some weight before we stuff ourselves with turkey and dressing and candied yams, et cetera, et cetera. So today I want to talk to you about a few things. We're going to talk about just a healthy meal. I'm going to show you guys some exercises that you can do. Just some not really hard, but exercise.
4, 3, 2.
Hi, welcome to Healthy Holidays, a special edition of the living room. The holidays are upon us. It's already November. In a few weeks, we're going to be eating turkey and dressing and macaroni and cheese and candied yams and sweet potato pies. Is that making you hungry already? Well, that's what we'll be doing in just a few weeks with Thanksgiving. And then after that, 4 weeks later, we're going to be eating it all over again with Christmas dinner. And but then we have the Christmas cookies and all the Christmas parties. All that to say, we need to start thinking about getting healthy right now. With the pandemic kind of going down a little bit, we are still trying to lose the weight that we picked up during the pandemic. And some of us are still on our way down. So, with the holidays, statistics actually show us that during the holidays, you do gain weight. You can gain 5, 10, or more pounds. But at the end of the day, in January, after your body has kind of stabled off, statistics show that the average person still has picked up 3 pounds that you're going to keep on. And if you take 3 pounds every year for 10 years, it kind of shows us why we're not that high school weight anymore. So today I just want to talk to you all a little bit about making some healthy choices when it comes to meal times. So I'm going to show you something that you can do. We're going to have some smothered chicken today and some cauliflower. We have two different types of cauliflower. I'll tell you about that in a moment. And then some broccoli. It's a good meal, it's a healthy choice. So, when I'm about to cook, first thing I want to do is I didn't always cook with gloves, but since the pandemic, I cook with gloves all the time now. So we're going to put I've already washed my hands, and now we're going to put the gloves on. And the first thing I do when I'm cooking, I pray. That's the first thing I always do. Even if it's something that I have made 50 times. And my husband and I have been married for 48 years. So I've cooked a lot of meals in 48 years. Actually, we have 4 sons. And when you have 4 sons, you know what that means? That means that you have all the football team over at some time or the basketball team. You're feeding kids all the time. So for me, because when I was growing up, our home, I grew up in Pennsylvania, and our home was the community house. Everybody came to our house. Well, when I had my children, I said, one of our houses, somebody's house is going to be the house that everybody comes to. I said, that's going to be my house. That way I'll know where my children are. And I love to cook anyway. And so I have cooked a grip of meals over the years. I can remember, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that as I'm cooking. Today, we're going to talk about cauliflower. I am so impressed with how you can cook cauliflower and not have as many calories, not have as many carbs, and have a healthy meal. So this is a head of organic cauliflower, and I have already taken this off. I forgot my cutting board, but that's okay because we're still going to do this. So I'm going to show you how to make mashed cauliflower. Now, I love mashed potatoes. I could eat mashed potatoes every day of my life. But when you're young, you can do that. When you get older, you can't. So mashed cauliflower is it's a wonderful substitute. I promise you, these are going to taste just like mashed potatoes. So the first thing we're going to do is I have my head of cauliflower, and I have these knives, and I love my knives because they have this some kind of safety thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this knife and I'm going to just cut this cauliflower in half. So I'm cutting this in half. A cauliflower is in that cabbage broccoli family. And so we got to get that piece out of here. So I'm going to take all these green pieces off of here. So we're grabbing all of these off of here, cutting these off. And then I'm going to start cutting this up. So we're doing that. Then I'm going to just take this knife and I'm going to cut this in half again. I'm going to cut it in half again because I want to get that core out of there. You know this core? Okay, y'all see that? I want to get that core out of there. So I'm going to cut that core off of here. On both sides, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to cut the core off on this side. You know what? I have to look this up simply because sometimes some of the stuff we cut off of something is really chock filled with vitamins. And actually, it already came off. Chock filled with vitamins. I need to check that out. But when we were growing up, we always cut the core off the cabbage. And so I cut the core off the cauliflower. And then, so now I have my pot. Okay. And, actually, the first thing I normally do is I have my colander. So I have this colander. And I'm going to just cut this into smaller pieces. Okay. So just small pieces. I'll show you. You can't. This is a recipe that you can't go wrong with. You definitely cannot go wrong with this. But you see, about this size. So I'm cutting these up, and so I'm cutting all of this cauliflower up. And after I cut this up, I'm going to take it. I'm going to rinse it off, and then I'm going to put it in my pot of water. So you're going to make this pretty much like you make mashed potatoes. Okay, so I'm going to put all of this in my pot of water. And now, when I'm cooking, I have a habit, can't do it right now, but I usually have a sink full of dishwater made, and so I can clean up as I go. I do not like to get to the end of the process, and then you have this great meal, and your kitchen looks like a hurricane hit it. So that's the cauliflower. So we're just going to know that cauliflower is in a pot of water. And in the meantime, you can take that and do that. Now, that's the second thing you're really going to do, seriously. The first thing you really want to do is make your smothered chicken, because that's going to take longer than everything else. Now, I just did smothered chicken legs today. But my family really likes the breast, but the breast take a long time to cook. But if you want to have something that's a quick meal, this is a quick meal. And so basically all I did was I just took some chicken legs and I laid them in this pot, and then I seasoned them. Now, you can do your seasonings according to your taste, because sometimes people can't have salt anymore. They have so many different salt substitutes. Now, I have my go-tos. And I should have been smart and got a kickback from this. However, My go-tos that I use in pretty much everything. First of all, I do not always use salt, but when I do, this is Himalayan pink salt. This is Himalayan pink salt. So when I do salt, I this is what I use. My go-tos are Creole seasonings. I love to cook with Creole seasoning, especially because some things, like I cook a lot of ground turkey. Turkey is very bland. Next week I'll show you a recipe with turkey. But turkey is very bland by itself, ground turkey. And so you need something to just spice it up. So I use Creole seasoning. This one, I'm not even going to tell you the name because it's so hard to find this. Usually when I do find them, I'll buy like 6 or 7 of them to last me for the year. I also use a lot of seasoning, salt, and garlic. Sometimes garlic salt, sometimes garlic powder. Those are my pretty much go-tos when I'm not doing something extravagant, when I just want to do a quick meal. This chicken dish is going to take you seriously 15 minutes to make this chicken. 15 minutes. Well, to prepare it, then you got to stick it in the oven, okay? Or if you're working, you can do this exact same thing. Put it in your crock pot and then walk away for like 6 hours. Put your crock pot on low. You can do this in the morning before you leave because the rest of this is going to be so fast. So I just laid this chicken in this pan. I seasoned it. Now, because I'm going to be cooking with soup today, you don't need a lot of seasoning. Actually, for somebody that does not know how to cook and you just are not um, that adept in the kitchen, you can actually cook with soup and chicken without hardly any seasonings, and you'll have a pretty good dish. Today, like I said, I did season this with quite a bit of the Cajun seasoning. So I put the chicken in the dish, and I'm just going to kind of hold this up a little bit as my gravy is spilling out of here. But anyhow, that's the chicken. And I'm going to wait till camera one picks this up. So I just put this, you see, this is like a rectangular pan. I put the chicken in this dish. I seasoned it. Then all I did was, now, I like to cook with soup when I'm in a big hurry. So for this, I did the cream of chicken and mushroom soup. It's not cream of chicken, it's not cream of mushroom, it's cream of chicken and mushroom soup. And I put that in here. I just covered the chicken up, put it in one of these cooking bags, and put it in the oven. So that's the first thing I did with this. Now, in the meantime, while this chicken was cooking, that's when you work on your cauliflower. And so now your cauliflower is on the stove, it's boiling. How long do you have to cook it? Probably about 30 minutes. You're just gonna, some things are like hit and miss. You just like your mashed potatoes. When you're cooking mashed potatoes and you're boiling the potatoes, sometimes it's gonna take 20, 30 minutes. But you want those potatoes to be nice and soft so you don't have lumpy mashed potatoes. It's the same thing with this cauliflower. So this cauliflower, we're just gonna imagine that this cauliflower is boiling. So cauliflower is boiling, chicken is in the oven. In the meantime, I want to make some broccoli. So broccoli is one of the easiest things. There's some dishes you really just cannot mess up. So for today, I just put like a little bit of water, probably like a half a cup. I'm going to go half a cup in case you're not used to cooking a lot. You don't want it to burn. But I just put a half a cup of water in this saucepan. I just put a tiny bit of this Himalayan sea salt in this water and a pat of butter. Now, you don't want a whole lot of butter, and I don't do the margarine. I don't do that, and nor do I do a butter substitute. Now, this is my kitchen, so this is how I cook. So you can make any of these recipes your own and add something, take something, and make it yours. So I put a pat of butter in here, and like I said, then we're going to just cut that on, and we are going to have this cooking. Finally, like I said, I am just impressed with the fact that you can use, there's so many things you can make with cauliflower. I have some dishes that specifically go over rice, but my family doesn't eat rice like they used to. First, we gave up the white rice. And if you're going to eat rice, I suggest that you do the brown rice. Um, anyhow, but my family has not been eating any type of rice lately. But guess what I found? I found this. And this is riced veggies. This is riced cauliflower. So it's cauliflower. It's in rice form. It's pure. They didn't do a grip of stuff to it, and so I do basically the same thing. I just put a little bit of water. For this, I only put like a quarter cup of water in this pot. Once again, I just put um, a little dab of butter. Now, cauliflower, as I said, is bland. Everybody doesn't like the taste of cauliflower. Actually, even for this dish I'm making today, my whole family loves mashed cauliflower except my youngest son. Now, this is the mistake I made, though, and I'm going to tell you now how you do this with your children. Don't tell your children that this is not mashed potatoes. You don't have to lie, just say mashies. One of my sons used to call, when I made mashed potatoes, he would say, "Are we having mashies?" Okay, because it tastes so much like mashed potatoes. Um, I remember when I first started cooking with ground turkey instead of ground beef. I cook everything with ground turkey. I never cook with ground beef anymore. But I remember I made the mistake of telling my sons that I was making spaghetti and I was making it with ground turkey. Before they even saw it, "We don't like that. We don't like that." I'm like, "You haven't even tasted it." So, but I learned something. The next time I made something, I didn't tell them because I make my spaghetti with ground turkey. I make meatloaf with ground turkey, chili with ground turkey. I just do a whole lot of stuff with ground. Oh, and my famous turkey burgers, my turkey burgers. So, and that's kind of one of the things people know me for, the turkey burgers. So, but I did not tell them. And now to this day, which is probably about 15 years later, they love the taste, and it's good. So we are cooking with now, this broccoli is already, look at that. That broccoli is already steaming. It takes broccoli all of maybe 15 minutes to make. You can sometimes, listen, sometimes when I want something to eat, so I'm going to take that off the stove and put this on. Sometimes when I want something to eat, um, and I'm really watching my weight that week, but I really want something filling, seriously, I'll just go in the kitchen and make a bag of steamed broccoli and it tastes delicious. So, so here we go. So here we have. So when the cauliflower is done, before we get to that place, when the cauliflower is done boiling, and you do the same thing. You just take a spoon, you take a spoon with some holes in it, and you take a piece out and you taste it. Don't burn yourself, but you taste it and make sure that that consistency is soft. So now we have done that. It's ready to go. And so what we do is, so we have to go into your sink, and you have your colander out. Your cauliflower is boiling. It's ready to go. You pour your cauliflower into the colander and make sure. Now, listen, you can burn yourself really bad with steam. So, when you're doing that, make sure you're not having your face over that because you can get burned. So, and then what I do is when I pour that cauliflower into the colander, oops, I'm about to burn. Okay. Thank you, Jesus. I almost burned that stuff. Okay, so let's cut this off. Okay, so after I pour it in, then I just really quickly just put it back in the pot and let it drain right there in the pot. Now, there's two ways you can do the cauliflower after you have drained it. Okay, so you drain it, and now it's in a. Well, I'm gonna tell you how I do mine. The first thing you can do, though, is how I used to. Just imagine this is a pot. You can take your mixer. Where's my mixer? You can take a mixer, just like we did with mashed potatoes, and you can, mash it, cut the mixer on, and do it that way. But one of the things I learned, and I learned this quite by accident, I couldn't find this mixer one day. I don't know what I did with it. And my cauliflower was ready to be mashed up. I'm like, what am I going to do? And I'm saying, you know what? I'll just put it in my food processor. And that's what I've been doing ever since. Because I just take the cauliflower now. Now, this is going to take like 2 or 3 times depending upon how much you're making. When I'm making cauliflower for my family, I usually make at least 2 heads, at least two, and I'll show you what 2 heads looks like in a moment. But what I do is I take it and then I just start spooning it. I start spooning the cauliflower into the food processor. I put the top on, cut it on, and then I put that in a bowl, and then I might have to do it a second time. Today I had to do it 2 different times. And that's going to give you some really smooth mashed cauliflower. It's going to be just totally smooth. So, and I'll show you at the end of the day, this is filled up with mashed cauliflower. It's filled up with mashed cauliflower, and this is 2 heads of cauliflower. And so what I'm going to do, and I love this little crock pot. I don't even remember where I got this crock pot, but I'm so glad I did because it's great. And so what I'm going to do now is I am going to make some plates here. And so, here's the plates. So I have my fall plates because, it's the holiday season. And I'll have to take some pictures and show you guys my house. So anyhow, so I'm going to put, now the reason I did this smothered chicken today is because my family likes sauce, and I used to do gravy. Y'all remember gravy? Okay, so if anybody ever wants to make unhealthy gravy, this is how you do gravy. So, we would take that pan after you fried the chicken or fried whatever you were frying. So you would take that big frying pan, you take some onions, and you saute those onions. Get them onions really nice and get that flavor in the grease. Now, gravy is grease and flour. Okay, so we had the sauteed onion, and then after that, you take your flour. And now you have to put the flour in, and you have to get that flour brown. You got to brown the flour, but you can't burn it. You got to watch this, okay? But some of us in my generation, we made great gravy, and so then you're mixing that, just working that flour back and forth. Now it's nice and brown, and then you take your hot water and you pour that water in, and to have that splash of steam, and then you season it. And that's some great gravy. The problem is, though, as I said, gravy is grease and flour. So we're trying to be a little bit more healthy now. And so that's one of the reasons why I do my smothered chicken now with soup instead of grease and flour. And so now I'm gonna just make a couple of plates real quick. And you see I'm standing back. Okay, my family knows I'm a stickler about this. People have a tendency to spit when they're talking. So when my family is fixing their food, they know, because I usually have like all of it lined up. I'm like, everybody be quiet. I don't want any spit in my food. So I'm going to make a couple of plates, and I'm going to have our cameramen come up one at a time, and they can get their plate and take it back. So I'm going to shut up. I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to be quiet, and I'm going to make a couple of plates, and then I'll call you all up one at a time. So. I want to show you this. See, even though it's not, there you go, there you are, Gino. So it's still like mashed potatoes and gravy. But it's not grease gravy, and it's cauliflower. And I'm going to put piece of chicken on here. And I'm going to have two of these things because this is going to, there we go. And now I'm going to put a spoon of broccoli. And I'm also going to put a little bit of the rice cauliflower. All right. So which Gino, you coming up first? Who's coming up first? Charles or Gino? Charles, okay, come on up. Center camera. Y'all can both come up if you want to and put it on the center camera. Charles said, don't have to tell him twice. Okay, so you have to come up and kind of taste it and see if you like it. And I'm going to make another. No, you got to stand right here so they can see your face. You got to at least take a couple of. Oh, they can't see your face. Well, no, you do have to take your mask off. And you know what? I'm going to taste at the same time. Go on. Oh, Jesus, thank you for this food. We're grateful to you for giving it to us. In the name of Jesus, amen. Okay, so Gino's on his way. And I'm going to make a plate for Gino. Good? Great. I should have bought bigger plates. Oh yeah, I bought Halloween, fall napkins too. And let me give you a fork, Gino. And if any of the other staff want to come down, huh? Tony, anybody that wants to run down, this is the time because we'll be cutting to a commercial. Chuck, my son Chuck. Oh, Chucky Perez. Okay, anybody wants to run down before I put this food up to take home? Y'all can run down. So what do you tell me? Let's talk about it. Okay, here comes my son. Okay, so tell me what you do. Tell me what do you like about the mashed cauliflower? Is it hot? Really hot. See, that's good. That's what I love about this crock pot. All right. I know what's mashy. Oh yeah, mashies for the kids, but it's mashed cauliflower. So it's just and my son Chuck knows I make this a lot from. And then that's not rice. It has the consistency of rice, but it is cauliflower. It is. Oops. There you go. And let me give you a fork. And so you guys, let me just tell you, for everybody that's cauliflower. That is not mashed potatoes. That's cauliflower. Good. I'm glad you guys like it. Now, so I'm going to let them go back to their things. Okay. So how did I season that cauliflower? Because as I said, that cauliflower is very bland. And it's some of you can work with it so it doesn't have to become an acquired taste. Sometimes you have to, acquire a taste for something, but for this, this is a dish if you season it enough. Okay, I have to give you a Bible thing to make my point here. Okay, so remember with Jacob and Isaac. Isaac was about to. This is in the book of Genesis. Isaac was about to bless his son Esau and give him the inheritance of the Abrahamic covenant. That was not God's choice. And Isaac's wife, Isaac's wife Rebecca was being like a good old-fashioned lady, and she was listening at the tent door, and she heard that Isaac was about to bless Esau. So what Rebecca did was she called Jacob, because actually God had given Rebecca a word when Rebecca was pregnant with those twins, Esau and Jacob. Now they are 77 years old. A lot of people think that they were young at that time. 77 years old. Well, what happened was, I guess I could take this glove off now. The only thing about these gloves is is they are so hot. Okay, so what happened was Rebecca told Jacob, "You come," and then I'll tell you about seasoning that cauliflower in a moment. She said, "You come, and we're gonna this blessing is gonna get be yours." So what she did was she told Jacob to go get a goat, and that's because Jacob had asked his son, I mean, Isaac had asked his son Esau, "Go out and kill a deer and bring me some venison stew that I love so much." Well, because Rebecca wanted to trick her husband, she specifically told Jacob, the one that she wanted to be the inheritor of that covenant, she told Jacob, "Go get me a goat." Now, Rebecca was able to take a goat and make it taste just like deer, just like venison. So, all that to say, you can take some cauliflower and make it taste like mashed potatoes. Anyhow, and once again, it's such a healthier alternative. And let me just tell you, ladies, these rice cauliflower, this whole bag is 60 calories. What? See, this is one way you can eat healthy, be filling. Now, even though I did the chicken smothered in the soup today, we don't. I eat sauces, but for the most part, if this was just for me, I would have just baked the chicken. I wouldn't have had any other soup at all. Baked the chicken, had the broccoli, mashed cauliflower, had a meal which is meat and veggies, cauliflower, broccoli, just a vegetable dish. So what did I do with that cauliflower? I used my go-tos. For this cauliflower, I, once again, remember, I had, for the cauliflower. Now, I used to not put anything in my cauliflower when I would mash it except a little salt. That's how I like it. I don't need anything else because I'm trying to get away from the mashed potatoes because I'm trying to get away from all those calories. However, my husband and my boys wanted a little bit more kick to it. Like I said, cauliflower is bland. So now for today, what I did was I put a little bit of butter. I did put some butter in this. Okay, that's your choice. For me, I'm going for the butter. Not a lot, but I put some butter in it. I put a pretty much this Cajun seasoning. Cajun seasoning will perk up anything, and I put some garlic salt. I put Cajun seasoning and garlic salt. That's what I put in these, and I was about to fix a plate for me, so I could see what I'm giving these guys to see how this came out. So I am going to put a little. I just mainly want to taste this cauliflower and see what this tastes like. And let's see. That is so good. And it tastes like mashed potatoes without the calories. I don't care about the chicken. The cauliflower and the broccoli, that would be my meal. So, everybody I still have some more chicken up here. So, we're going to be back in a few moments and with another segment of our Healthy Holidays living room special. We'll be back shortly. All right.
4, 3, 2.
Okay, so we did one side, and that's good. But guess what? Now we have to do the other side because you don't want to be lopsided. You don't want one side of your body to be really toned and the other side not. So we're going to do the same thing over. And once again, so we're just going to do 10 going down and up. Now, in case you guys want to know, when I'm at my house doing this, I do 14 of each one of these exercises. I'm just doing 10 right now. So here we go. And you know what? I could use this mat again. But I might trip over it because it's not a real mat. So I'm just going to do here. But once again, this is a really good padding on this carpet. I mean, this is almost like a mat. You do have to be careful about your knees. So here we go. Ready? We're going on the left leg now. Okay, because we did the right. Okay, here we go. And so we have 1, and 2, and 3. When you go down, you're planting that foot, and your foot is pulling you up. And what am I on now? 4? I think I'm on 5. I don't even remember. 5. 6. And down. 7. And down. 8. And down. 9. One more. Down. 10. We made it. Okay, so now we have to go to the left leg. I can't even remember what these things are called, seriously. I'm just giving you some of my favorite leg exercises. I have a lot of them. I think I have every exercise tape that was ever made since 1980 probably. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Once again, your legs are a strong part of your body. If you're used to working out, once again, your legs are a strong part of your body. So if you're used to working out, you can use a heavier weight. And just so you know, actually, let me do these, and then I'm going to tell you one more thing. Okay, so we're going to the side again. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. And now, I'm going to tell you, I just realized I gave you the easy version of that, but I'm just going to show you a harder version. You can do this on your own. So actually, when I do these, I go to the right and up, and then I go down and up. I do 14 on that side. And then I do the same thing. I go down and up, down and up. Okay? So the last exercise we're doing is our squats. 10 more squats. And then you will have had, about a 5-minute, 6-minute workout. And that's good. Okay, so here we go. 10 squats. Well, actually, it's 20. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and I think I messed up the knee, 9, or got not messed up the knee, but you know what I'm saying, 10. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. And remember, you're pushing back. And I'm going to show you the wrong way to do this in a second. So you're never going like this. That's too much on the knees. You're always going like that. Okay, that's leg day. 3 great exercises for leg day. And then next week, I'm going to show you something for your waist. All right, so hope you enjoyed this Healthy Holidays exercise tip.